This is a pre-recorded session from The Real Wheel. The spins are recorded live and unedited, and the results are still random. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Welcome. It's Tuesday, it is the 26th of July 2022, and you're watching The Real Wheel. We've got another 20 minutes of spins left for you in this session, so let's get the session started. And we're spinning from the last number of the previous session, which was 8 black. So where do we think the ball will fall this time? It's up to you to figure out. Make your predictions. As the dealer, I have no influence of where the ball is going to fall. I am just letting go of the ball and letting gravity take charge. And our first result of this session is 34, red, even and high, in the first column in the third dozen, and part of the Orphaland section of the wheel. 34 is your latest result. So we got through 41 spins in the first session together. We'll see how many spins we get through in this one. And that result is sweet 16. 16 red. Even number, low numbers. First column, second dozen, part of the tiers. And 16 red is on its second appearance, I do believe. And your next result, 6 black. Even and low for 6 in the third column in the first dozen, part of the Orphaland section of the wheel. And number 6, another result on 2 appearances. So the hot numbers from the last session were 14, 33 and 19 on 3 spins apiece. And that result is 18 red. Even and low for 18, third column, second dozen, part of the Voisin section. '18 also on its second appearance. We'll start to see many numbers go on their second appearance now, and we'll slowly chip away at those numbers we haven't yet seen. Number 4 is the next result. 4 making its debut in the first column in the first dozen, black, even and low, part of the Voisin section. Next result on the way. And from 4 we go to another number making its debut, black number 2. Middle column, first dozen, black, even and low, part of the Voisin section of the wheel. And that result is number 10 black. Another number making its debut, black, even and low for number 10. First column, first dozen. TS section of the wheel. And the results back in number 4. Black, even and low for number 4, part of the Voisin section of the wheel. It's in the first dozen and the first column. And the result the Enigma number 23, middle column, middle dozen for 23, part of the TS section of the wheel, red, odd and high. Next result on the way. So I hope your week's going well. I know it's only the second day of the working week, but I hope it is going well for each and every one of you. I suppose after this time last week, with that excessive heat wave in the UK, anything might be better. Ocho number 8, the snowman is the next result. Middle column for the snowman in the first dozen. Black, even, and low. So we're pocket hopping again at the moment. 23 and 8, 2 and 4 only if pocket separates those. And 24 is your next result. Even and high for 24 in the TS section of the wheel. It's in the third column, second dozen. And that result is 7 red. Hottest number of the last session. It's taken this long for it to come in this time though. Red, odd and low for 7. First column, first dozen, part of the Voisin section of the wheel. So last week, number 7 was the hottest number, I do believe. Unless it got overtaken, I will double check the stats in the next session or in between sessions. Make sure I'm not talking rubbish. Sweet 16 is the next result. 16 red on its third appearance. Even and low for 16, part of the TS section of the wheel, a red number. And 16 is in the first column, second dozen. So we've got 5 numbers all on 3 spins at the moment, 14, 33, 8, 19 and 16. They are your hot 5 numbers. 19 red, hot number. 19 red, odd high, first column, second dozen, part of the Voisin section of the wheel. That 16-19 split doing very well for itself at the moment. 7 hits, as it were, in 55 spins for the 16-19 split. And right next door to 16 is double carpet, 33. 33. We repeated that earlier. I can tell you it's black, odd and high in the TS section of the wheel. Third column, third dozen. So 33 joining 19 as one of the hot numbers. 4 times out for both of them. And 21 is your next result. Third column, second dozen. Red odd high, part of the Voisin section of the wheel. And number 20 is your next result. Middle column, middle dozen, part of the Orphaland section of the wheel, a black, even and high number. And that is the Huge and Rouge, red 36. Even and high, third column, third dozen, part of the TS section of the wheel. This is spin number 60. And that is number 6. Even and low for number 6, a black number in the all-plan section of the wheel in the first dozen and the third column. And the result, couple of pockets away, is 13 black. Odd and low for 13 in the middle dozen in the first column, part of the TS section of the wheel. I'm not too happy with my anti-clockwise ball at the moment. After this session I'm going to take the other ball from the Tourette and I'm going to do some practice. Because that spin has gotten really sloppy. Sweet 16 is your latest result. That 16-19 split, very hot at the moment. 16, red odd low, second dozen, first column. Part of the TS section of the wheel. Joint hottest with 19 and 33. 16 and 33 next to each other. 16-19, you've got the split. 16 very much the linking factor in the hot numbers at the moment. And it's always nice to do it twice. There's nothing sweeter than a repeater, especially with a funny old bounce like that. What a funny old bounce that was. 16 red, even and low, first column, second dozen, TS section. I haven't seen a bounce like that in a very long time from that wheel. Seen it from other wheels, but not this wheel. I can assure you the results are random, there's no magnets under there. And there's nothing meaner than a Trebolina. What on earth is going on with this wheel? I promise you that there is nothing funny going on with this wheel. Even and low, first column in the second dozen, part of the TR section, very much the hottest number. 2 Trebolinas I have had in the space of just over a week. Thank goodness for that. 25. Red, odd and high. Third dozen, first column. Part of the Wazan section. I got so worried it was going to be 16 again with another funny bounce. If you look through all my old videos here at the Real Wheel, you will see I've had about 3 tripeaters the entire time. I had that one quadrupeter of 34. And we are in black number 20. Even and high for 20. Middle column, middle dozen. Part of the Orphaland section of the wheel. I very rarely spin 3 in a row. I do a lot of repeaters, but very rarely 3 in a row. So a tripeater of an already hot number has floored me a little bit, I've got to say. But these are the results. I can't control the ball. 3 red. Odd and low for number 3 in the first dozen in the third column, part of as part of the Wazan section of the wheel. And that result, number 30, red, even and high, third column, third dozen, TS section of the wheel. And we are in red number 7, first column, first dozen, red odd low, part of the Wazan section of the wheel. Just over 5 minutes left of this session. Red number 1. Odd and low for number 1. First column, first dozen, part of the Orphaland section of the wheel. So our hot number is 16, you can see it there. How many times on the marquee is it? 4 times on the marquee. 33, another hot number. And 19, another hot number. Then plenty of numbers on 3 spins. A red 1, always nice to do it twice, there's nothing sweeter than a repeater. First column, first dozen. Odd and low, part of the Orphaland section. This wheel is producing some very odd results today. There was a session, goodness me, it must have been about 3 years ago that I did, where something very similar happened with the number 32. 36, huge and rouge, third column, third dozen, even and high, part of the TR section of the wheel. Every so often, the wheel does produce some very weird results. You can see 36, by the way, is not bookending the marquee. That's 16 at the other end. Of course it's 16. It was going to be 16, wasn't it? Number of love, 14. Middle column, middle dozen. Even and low, part of the Orphaland section of the wheel. The Neighbours of 1 is doing very, very well for itself. 1's on 4 spins, 33's on 4 spins, 16 is on 6 spins. Big Green 0, first time we've seen that, not in any of the answer chances, columns or dozens, but it is in the Wazan section. And that is black 31. Odd and high for 31 in the Orphaland section of the wheel. Third dozen, first column. Just a couple of minutes left of this session. A very freaky session at the wheel. Number 5. Red odd low, middle column, first dozen, part of the TR. Red numbers, the more popular colour this week. At this point in proceedings last week, it was very black heavy. Black 31, in, out, in again for 31. Part of the Orphaland section of the wheel, third dozen, first column, black, odd and high. Black 35, odd and high, middle column, third dozen, in the Wazan section of the wheel. Red 32, middle column, third dozen. Even and high, part of the Wazan section. Penultimate spin. Black 31. back again. Third dozen. In the first column, on high, part of the Orphalan. Final spin happening for you. Thought I'd do a couple of shorter spins to get us on to 81 spins. That means we'll have had 40 spins together this session. Let's see what the result is. And the result we are finishing in is black number 20. Even and high for 20, middle column, middle dozen, part of the Orphalan section of the wheel. So once again, thank you all so much for watching The Real Wheel. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support the spins, please do click the like button. Maybe consider subscribing. And if you want to be an absolute legend and help out even more, you can chip in at patreon.com/therealwheel. Thank you all so much for watching. An extra special thank you to Alan Cummings for being the first patron. And I'll see you all very, very soon.